I used to be in a rock club years ago, Northern California, and every month we'd have a meeting, and every month there'd be somebody new as a speaker or whatnot, show off their stuff, their rocks, their fossils, whatever they were finding. Excuse me. And this guy who was showing us some pictures of the old railroad going there, real close by where I used to hunt. And with all this sawgrass, you try to walk through sawgrass, you're going to get mutilated. So I never went down to the river on that area. And when I saw these pictures from across the river that he zoomed in on, I saw these huge rocks from a landslide from an earthquake that came down and landed down here by the river. And so I thought, I know where that spot is at, and I'm going to go look for that. Because I knew there were sand dollars there. And oh boy, did I find lots of sand dollars. So these huge rocks, I mean, big as your truck, even bigger. I'd have these lenses in them, and I'd dig these lenses out, and I'd split the lenses to expose these sand dollars. These sand dollars are Scutillaster major. The reason I kept this one, apparently, is, wait for it, where's the drum roll? Look at that one. You can just see the outline. It's very encrusted. You can see where the rock broke here. But it broke perfectly over this sand dollar, this echinoid. So I'm going to turn this one into a video where I take this hard, and I mean super hard, you can't even scratch that sandstone, and show you how nice this is. Here's one. This thing's just loaded with sand dollars. There's a piece of one, there's a piece of one, there's one, there's a piece of one, there's one, there's a piece of one, there's one. It's everywhere. But that's going to make for a beautiful single. Have no idea how good the pattern will be, that flower pattern that these echinoids have. Some are very faint, some are striking. It all depends on how they're fossilized. And one can be totally different from another one right next door to it. But anyways, that's gonna be a cool fossil. I'll turn it into a video and show you that video one of these days, probably this winter. There you go. A few days ago, I made a short little video of this rock, and last night I was thinking, why don't I do this sand dollar, polish it up, and add it to the video, and you can see from start to finish what I found and how it ended up. But now that I've taken a close look at it, it's got this crack running right through the echinoid. Let me zoom in there so you can see that. See that right there? So, right in front of your eyeballs, I'm going to take thin set, super glue, cyanoacrylate, and literally just fill that up. Well, maybe not. Maybe I better cut the top of that off. Here, phew, jeez, potent stuff. Let's see here. And then, since a little accelerator, speed that cure up. Whew, potent stuff, Jesus. So, that'll keep that from falling apart. That accelerator sometimes turns things green, but if it was to turn this rock green, I wouldn't care because I'm taking it off. So I've got my tools. I'm going to use a aluminum oxide grinding wheel on my Fordham handpiece here. You can see there's some really tough stuff on there. So I'm going to grind that down. I'm going to be very careful of this top. I can't tell you how many sand dollars I've ruined in years past. Very easy to go through the test of this sand dollar at the very top because it's very thin. Okay, so let that cure for a little bit and I'll be back. Okay, that's been curing for a little bit. I will now start grinding. Get my foot ready. That's ready. Just take your time, go slow and easy, and hit the hard parts first. My big fat head's not in the way. Now as you can see, whoop, Jesus, Ronald. As you can see or not see, where I've been grinding, the easy way to tell whether you're doing a good job or not, take your toothbrush or any brush with some water and just wet that. Now you can see the sand dollar. Can't tell how good the flour is going to be, but you don't want to go through the shell material, the test of the critter. It's home, it's house. So, back to work. And always wear your dust mask. I have M95s. And not because of COVID, but because I've been using M95s for 30 years. Well, maybe 20. Be careful of that top. It's always scary. And it's time consuming because you're always checking. But now you can see it's not going to be the best one in the world, but it should come out okay for as long as I don't destroy it. But I leave a little bit, which I'll get with the sanders, the sanding barrels, which are these guys. That's a gritty one. And I've got one with a finer, much finer sanding barrel on it. So, dry that up, back to work. I'll show you all this when I get her done. Getting there. think it's just about time for stage 2, but I'll hit this little spot first here area. A lot easier to take rock off with this aluminum oxide grinding wheel than it is the sandpaper barrels. Check that out. Okay, it's looking better. There's the poop chute. It's on top of the test, not the other side like the modern day sand dollars on the west coast. Okay, I'm going to let that dry up and start the sanding barrels. I have decided to skip the really gritty, I think that's 50 grit sand barrel, and I went to the 120 grit sand barrel. So don't forget your dust mask. I have an optivisor just so I can see more closely. And go! Get those edges while this is nice and fresh and got good scrapeability or sandability. Whatever you do, don't hit the rock, because that just leaves tool marks, and that is not good in my book. And even though this looks pretty flat, it's not. Be careful of that top, that always scares me. There's little contours here where the flowers are at, so I'm holding the barrel in a certain way to get those little valleys. Very subtle valleys, but valleys just the same. When I started doing this, there was no, well, there might have been an internet. I didn't get a computer until 1995. And there was no fossil forms or any of that, so I had to just figure this stuff out, think of what would work and just try it. Oh, there's a bit of a ridge there, so I'm going to take the edge of the sanding barrel, go right along that ridge. Which is why I don't put the sanding barrel clear to the top of that rubber part. That way it's got a little bit of give. Now then, check that out. You usually have to check it out 2, 3, 4 times. But you can see plainly I've got more to do. There's still a bunch of sand on there. But that's looking like a pretty good sand dollar. Starting to like that. Let that dry a little bit, and I'll do more work. I take a sheet of wet dry sandpaper. This used to be a whole 8 by 11 sheet. This is 320 grit. I cut a strip, cut the strip in half, folded one part into thirds, and all I do is get it wet and start sanding, trying not to touch the rock. Leave the rock as natural as possible. At least that's my opinion. Some guys don't. I'm talking about prepping, when some guys prep and they leave all kinds of tool marks on the rock, and ooh, I just hate that. Sorry, just my opinion. So all I'm doing is taking off, or trying to get rid of the marks from the sanding barrel. And you really can't see the marks when it's wet. So again, you have to dry it up. And as soon as it dries up, you can see what you have missed. Gotta be careful of the grit from the sand, because if a piece of sand gets underneath your sandpaper and you start sanding, it can put some weird marks on your sandy dollar. And you don't want weird marks on your sandy dollar. When you think you've done it enough, keep doing it, because I guarantee you it's not enough. That's a guarantee. I'd put money on it. I'll put $1 on it. Sorry, get a little full of myself here. Back to work, Ron. Now, I call it get back to work. I always say that, but actually I'm just getting back to playtime. Anyways, I'll show you what this looks like. I don't think that's near enough, but let me get a Scott towel, dry that up. Oh boy, now, see, I don't know if you can see that or not, but let me see if I can get that up to the camera a little bit. You can see, where's my pointer? There's a pointer. Right there, gobs of scratch marks, just gobs. Scratch marks there, all there, there. Not too bad though, there. Should turn that into a song. There. So, like I said, not enough. Just keep doing that, and till you get rid of all the scratch marks. And sometimes you have to work on a certain area until that scratch mark is gone. If you leave any scratch marks and then polish it, the scratch marks get amplified and look terrible. Anyways, I'm not going to show you more of the sanding because it's just boring stuff, but I'll show you when I'm done. When I was younger, I had no problem with this. Now it's hard on the fingers. Okay, I did a whole bunch of sanding on that. I'm not kidding when I say you think you're done. Keep doing it. So, that's looking pretty nice. I don't care for the blotchiness, but that's the way it goes. That's Mother Nature. That's not too shabby. Yep, there's some stuff right there, and right there, and right there. That's where that little ledge is at. Can't see it, but it's there. So I got 3 little areas to attack. So on the attack I go. Let's start with a fresh piece of sandy paper. This is wet dry sandpaper, obviously. Can't do that with the sanding barrel, they'll just fall apart. So try to get the edge of that sandpaper. I'm sorry about the angle there, but try to get that edge of that sandpaper that you got folded over. That's better. And that looks better. And that looks not like a scratch, that's a piece of damage, I think. Okay, I think I'm ready for some, let's show you here. 600 grit. Woohoo! I know people go to 1,000 and 1,500 and 2,000. When it comes to fossils, I don't do that. That's just more work. So let me get this 600 grit ready to go. Okay, I went crazy with the 600 grit and just sanded the bejeepers out of that. I missed a little spot over here somewhere, I can't remember, but it's so small no one's going to see it. But now it's, from all that sanding, you can see this milky white stuff. Here, let me zoom in here so you can see that better. All this milky white stuff is slurry from all that sanding, so all I'm going to do is just clean the rock kind of everywhere. Just clean the bejeepers out of it, get rid of all that slurry, and it's still kind of wet, so it'll be easy to clean right now, where slurry sometimes acts like a cement, and if you let it dry it can get kind of difficult at times to clean. So dry that up. Get some of that dirt off there. It's been on there for, boy, there's some dirt there. But man, look at all there's just sand dollars in this rock. Really cool rock. Oop, more slurry. More slurry. And always have my compressor running, so I take my air scribe, blow that on there for speed dry. And after this is dry, I'm going to polish that baby. That's when it's going to look nice. A big difference between how it looks now and how it'll look when it's polished with polishing rouge. Anyways, I'll be back. Okay, been letting this dry. It's pretty dry now. Nice and smooth. Ready for the polishing wheel. And the buffing compound, which is stainless steel rouge compound. As you can tell, I've been using that wheel, so I just take a rock. I just happen to have some rocks around here, and all I do to clean up this buffing wheel, get my foot on the gas there. And that pretty much cleans up your buffing wheel. Then take your buffing compound, whatever kind you got, add some polishing rouge, and don't get any on the rock. It'll change the rock too. This won't take long. I don't know if the camera picks that up or not, but that makes a heck of a difference. I didn't clean this buffing wheel too well. I might have to do that again. That's terrible. Let me clean that again. Okay, that might work. There, that's loading up pretty good now. It may not look like it, but I'm using quite a bit of pressure on this. Don't know if I like that area right there, but what do you do? That's a little better. Okay, getting there. A little more buffing rouge.
How you doing in here?
Good. Polishing up my dollar.
You need a drink or you good?
Hold on a bit.
Oh.
Make sure you get all the buffing rouge off the sand dollar. And that's it. Kind of zoom in a little bit so you can see that better. Get the light better. Get a load of that. That only took a couple hours. Not bad. Nice flower design. I mean, it's the same design, but it's pronounced because the way it fossilized. Sometimes some are good, sometimes some are super good, and I'd say this is about a little better than average. But there's another dollar, another rock out of the garage. Okay, I've been doing some thinking about this rock here with the sandy dollar on it. I've decided to cut it so it stands like so. You can see I've only got so much rock to work with. I want to save this front for weight on the front of it because I can't really put much of a slanted cut on that. So I want to save this weight, and this is the widest spot in the back, so I want to make that cut right there. So what I've done is I've got a piece of wood here, and if I put that piece of wood right there, and I've got different thicknesses of something, yeah, just have to use my thermometer, it's just about right where I want it. So if I hold it at a slant of which I think it should be able to hold, I can simply take this marker, boy, I got third hand here, put that right like so, there, and then put that over here like this. There's my mark. So put that like so. Jeez, where's my third hand? Just have to be close. There. So I'll take the saw. If you can see those lines here, let me get a little light over here on this side. If I hold that with the saw and follow that line, it should sit just like that when I'm done. And back in the olden days when I had more stuff, I still got more black felt, I used to cut a piece of black felt and glue it on the bottom so it wouldn't scratch people's glass cases when I used to sell all this crap. Well, I shouldn't call it crap. It's pretty good crap if you ask me. So I'm gonna go set up my tile saw and cut that and come back here and show you how it looks. And here we go. I'm just gonna have to hold this very carefully at the slant I need. Look at the sand dollars on the inside. This rock was absolutely loaded with echinoids. But still got one good one. Okay. I gotta go dry that up and take it back to the garage. Okay. Bit of slurry on here. Not much, but a little bit. So, a quick wash down. There's a bit. Jeez. There's a bit. Don't know if I ever washed the back. That's filthy. Jeez. Then a pat dry. And moment of truth here. Yeah, I wish that was like that, but that a little bit more could have been nicer. But still, that's pretty good. Yeah, I couldn't go much more. Just would lose its balance right there. Oh well. Not bad, eh? I might just put that in the collection. Yep, it's that nice. Okay, to the next project.